Mhm. So, Scott, I'm not going to keep you much longer, but I want to ask you, what do you think Ukraine will look like in the next few months to um, a year? And what happened to the so-called great offensive or counteroffensive by Ukraine?
Well, the great counteroffensive is done. They couldn't even get to the first line of defense. There's three of them. So in order to crack the Russian defenses, you got to get through all three lines of defense. The Russian defensive system, I read the paper written by Romanchuk, by the way. The first line is sort of designed to be broken. You know how, I mean, those crash tests we do where we take really expensive cars, and I'm always frustrated when I see this because I'm like, please don't crash it. I'd like to drive it. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. But no, they're going to crash it. And they crash it into the wall or into a barrier. And the whole idea is to build a car that absorbs the impact and then wraps itself around the driver so the driver lives. That's the idea of a well-designed car. Well, the Russian defense is that way too. It's designed to crack where the Russians want it to crack, let the Ukrainians come in, and then they're pounded with artillery, airstrikes, and they're dispersed and they all die. So you have this flexible defense in the front, sort of this soft area to receive them, shape them. And they're going in that, they get shaped, then they hit the first line of defense, and it breaks where the Russians want it to break, and they move on to the second line of defense, which is a steel wall that holds them in place. And the third line of defense is where the counterattacking force is. It comes in and it slaughters them. So understand what I said. The way the Russian defense is designed to function is that the enemy breaks the first line, reaches the second line, and then gets destroyed by the third line. The Ukrainians haven't even reached the first line. Okay, they're trapped in the soft zone. They're trapped in the Neverland. They didn't get through the minefields. They didn't get through the barriers. They didn't get through anything. Scott, they took 5 villages. Those 5 villages were meant to be taken. Okay, it's not like the Russians went, we're going to fight here like it's Stalingrad. Let's do this, boys. The Russians went, all right. They're coming to the village. Back off, guys. They come to the village and they go, fire for effect. Boom, 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 boom. Dead. Hey guys, tend to hold here a little bit. Hey, look, we're Russians. We're fighting. We're fighting. Come and get us. And the Ukrainians go, there's Russians. They're fighting. Let's go get them. Boom, man, landmine. Damn it. Because the Russians sucked you in right where they wanted. Now you're in the landmine. They hit you with the artillery, the airplanes, and you all die. Ukrainians haven't gotten to the first line of defense. And they're not going to get the first line of defense. They can't get the first line of defense. And even if they do, and they say, this is a great victory. We got to the first line of defense. I'd say, read the paper. The Ukrainians are supposed to get to the first line of defense. And then it breaks where we want it to break, and they get sucked into the second line of defense where they all die. So people, this counteroffensive, and again, Putin said it start on June 4th. And what I've learned about Putin is when E.F. Hutton speaks, people should listen. Okay, so if he says it started on June 4th, it started on June 4th. And here we are, June 15th, 11 days later, and there's over 10,000 dead Ukrainians. How's that going, guys? Now, remember, the army they built was 60,000. They've lost 1/6 of them already, dead. Tanks, 150 tanks. I think they were only provided with like 300 of them. So half are gone. Wow. 500 infantry vehicles, but 200 of those are gone. How's it working out, Ukraine? You haven't even gotten to the first line of defense yet. And you're not going. You're not going. That's the reality. This counteroffensive is over.
10,000?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, do you think that they will push?
Welcome to war, baby. Welcome to war. Modern war. It ain't what we've been doing for the last 20 years. I'll tell you that.
Well, with Putin.